Broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio in Atlanta, it's time for Gwinnett Chamber's monthly radio show, Open for Business, spotlighting the top chamber members in Gwinnett. Open for Business is brought to you by FarraTech. FarraTech, great people, remarkable service.
And welcome once again to Open for Business. I'm your host, Johnny Phelps. I'm a realtor broker with Harry Norman Realtors and a two-time Ambassador of the Year with the Gwinnett Chamber. We are delighted to have you, and we're delighted to have our guest today. We welcome Kathy Stone, owner and manager of Camp Bow Wow Lawrenceville, Jordan Sandler, the CEO and founder of Frenik Marketing Group, and Courtney Spencer, Membership Services Coordinator with the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce. And Kathy, let's jump right in and talk about Camp Bow Wow. How long have you had Camp Bow Wow?
My location has been open right at 15 months. We're located not far from the square in Lawrenceville, kind of between Gwinnett Medical and the square off Old Norcross.
Now, it's a franchise, is it?
Yes, we're part of the largest dog day camp and overnight boarding franchise in the country. There are over 150 camps in the United States. The franchise itself started a little over 10 years ago out of Denver, Westminster, Denver, Colorado. So it's a great place. The dogs can be who they're supposed to be. It's a wonderful business model and so much fun to watch the dogs play.
What was the hook for you?
Watching the dogs play.
Okay.
Yep. There's such joy when dogs play with each other, when they make new friends and they grab onto each other's collars and drag each other around, and just love being with other dogs, their size, their temperament, in a safe environment where they can go in and out all day and play.
Is this what accommodations do you have for the dogs?
Okay, we specialize in all-day play, so we have indoor-outdoor yards that we divide our campers up by size and temperament, so our littles under 30 pounds are all together in one yard, and larger dogs are in the other 3 yards, all the way up to Great Danes or 150, 60-pound great German Shepherds. So, but we don't have kennels, we don't have runs. The dogs have cabins. In fact, our smallest cabin is a 4x4 metal, 3-side metal, 1-side plastic gate, so they can see out. They don't feel like they're contained in any way. And they come out at about 6:30 in the morning, play till lunchtime, go up for lunch in their cabins, come back out, play all afternoon. We have pools so they can play in the water at this time of the year, should they like that. And then at night they go to bed and we play night-night music so that they sleep well.
Okay, well, I was just about to head. You just touched on there. I was wondering if indeed it was strictly daycare, but there is overnight accommodations as well.
Overnight boarding. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And how many dogs can you accommodate?
We can accommodate up to 96 dogs. We have 50 cabins. We can put up to 3 of the same family members in a cabin, so that they sleep together at home, they can sleep together at camp. I had one guy ask me if he could bring the chair his dog sleeps in, because we provide a cot and a blanket. But if the parent wants to bring a chair, bring a chair, right? If that's what makes the dog happy, then that's what we want.
And that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. In fact, part of our model is we're all inclusive. So if your dog needs anything, medicine, we have dogs come in and they're diabetic, so we give them insulin shots, and we don't charge to do that. I understand some places charge like $8 a pill.
Wow.
To give their dog medicine. We don't do that. That's part of what we do. And if they need a little extra love because they're sad that mom and dad have left them someplace they're not used to, we'll go and sit in the cabins with them while they eat or before they go to bed.
Do you do training at all?
Absolutely. I have 2 certified trainers on my staff, and we do training things at camp called board and train. So if they come to spend the night, we can do some training with them while they're there, or play and trains while they're day campers. We can do training that as well. We also have classes in-house or in-home consultation and training as well.
Is there such a thing as an average camper?
Yeah, it's a great dog who loves to play with other dogs. They all obviously have to be neutered or spayed, because you can just imagine in an all open play environment, if they were not altered, it would be a really difficult place to
Certainly.
be. But other than that, we have puppies as young as 4 months. We've had 17, 18-year-old dogs come and be campers with us as well. So we do a temperament test to make sure that each camper is comfortable in that environment, because just like anything else, it's not for everybody. Some dogs are a little too shy. They've not been socialized really well by their parents, so a lot of them, we can overcome that. I had one little Chihuahua who sat in the corner her first day, and by the end of the weekend, she was running around and jumping all over the other campers and having a great time. So we pay a lot of attention. Our counselors are certified in first aid and CPR, so if something should happen, they can take care of the pup as well. But mostly they watch for behavior to make sure that things don't get awry before they become a problem.
We're talking with Kathy Stone, the owner and manager of Camp Bow Wow Lawrenceville. I've heard the phrase home buddies.
Yes.
What's
That's
that?
our in-home pet service. So we can take care of dogs who can't be campers, or cats, birds, fish, snakes, ferrets, whatever. I actually have a staff member who loves reptiles. So if anybody needs their reptiles watched while they're gone for 4th of July weekend, we can take care of that.
So exotic animals too.
Exotic as well.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What about, well, let's go back to dogs here
Okay.
for a second. What about grooming?
The grooming, at this moment, it's really basic. We can do nails, either clip or Dremel. We prefer the Dremel because it's harder to get the quick on their nails that way. Our basic shampoo bath includes shampoo, conditioner, ear cleaning, and blowout and dry.
Would that be a daily thing?
It could, but
Okay.
we don't recommend it doing every day.
Okay.
Every other week is probably good, especially this time of year when it's drier and dogs shed a little bit more. And we do have all kinds of shampoo on staff as well. We have flea white dog shampoo, believe it or not, because we have so many white dogs that have come into camp. And oatmeal.
Hold a second. There is a white dog shampoo?
White dog shampoo, yep.
Oh, my God. Okay. All right. I want to make sure that's set in. Okay. Thank you. Proceed. That's
Anyhow, I am on the lookout for a really good full-service groomer. So if there's anybody out there that's interested in doing some additional work, they can contact me. My camp is built so that the dogs that come in for grooming do not have to be campers. So if they're not neutered or spayed, they can still come in an extra door. So the grooming can take place at camp as well.
You mentioned earlier about maybe pill dispensations. What sort of medical training staff are involved in that?
My eldest daughter actually has her animal science degree from Berry College, and she's a vet tech at Sugar Hill Animal Hospital. So she comes and trains us on how to do those things right. And if there's any challenge, we call her and get her opinion, and then we go to local vets if we need additional services like that.
Tell us about the Bow Wow Buddies Foundation.
Oh, thank you. Bow Wow Buddies Foundation is the philanthropic portion of our camp and our corporate mission, and we collect money to pay for medical expenses of dogs that the parents can't afford it, or their rescues. In fact, we've had 2 grants come through my camp recently. One was for a rescue of a 3-year-old who had heartworm disease, and that she's doing really well. The second one was this past week and had a blockage. The parents couldn't afford anything. We got them $1,600. Unfortunately, the possible camper didn't make it because it was too late, but we love being able to reach out to the community and help financially. So if you come to camp and you want to buy a DVD, we've got them for sale.
Well, very good. How's your involvement with the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce been?
We've been here just less than a year, and I'm very happy to say that we've actually learned a lot from all the rest of the people in the chamber, and the relationships are amazing. The people I've talked to who give so much, like yourself, the ambassadors, and Courtney, are just amazing to help us build our business, because, like I say, we're just only 15 months old, and although we're part of a franchise, each camp is independently owned and operated, so it's like its own business. And so the resources of the chamber have been very, very, very helpful. So shout out to Martin. Thank you.
You mentioned previously your location in Lawrenceville. Let's touch on that again, and also give us your contact information for someone who may be hearing this and say, wow, that sounds like a great opportunity for my dog.
Okay. We're located at 585 Old Norcross Road, which is near the intersection of 120 and Old Norcross, behind the dialysis center, between Gwinnett Medical and the Square. We're a little bit hard to find. I selected the location off the street because there are other camps that are on main roads, and I know of at least 4 dogs that have been killed when they got away from their parents and run out into the street. So, yes, it's harder for parents to find, but it's much safer for my campers, and that was the intent.
Mm-hmm. And how can people contact you?
Our phone number is 770-995-3500, or campbowwow.com/LawrencevilleGA is our website. We have connections on there as well, or LawrencevilleGA@campbowwow.com is our email.
Very good. Kathy Stone, owner-manager of Camp Bow Wow Lawrenceville. Wonderfully informative. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Johnny.
FarraTech is your one source for all toner supplies, printers, copiers, and computers. Whether you need service or repair on your hardware, or you're looking to find the best price and quality on toner supplies, FarraTech has a skilled and knowledgeable team to help you and your company. Contact them today and see how they can help you. They're waiting for your call at 770-582-1188. FarraTech, great people, remarkable service. And now we say hello to Jordan Sandler, who's the CEO and founder of Frenik Marketing. Jordan, I wonder. I suspect people are wondering where the name Frenik came from, because you changed it after a while. It was
Correct.
KMS, as I recall, initially. And
Yes, sir.
How did you come into Frenik?
So originally, when we started the business, we were a technology solutions provider strictly. We were not a full-service marketing group, which is what we are today. So when we were moving to Atlanta, we acquired a creative team. And in doing so, we decided that the name KMS Technology Solutions was no longer fitting for what we do. So we, at this point, had seen substantial growth and knew that we were going to do this for the long term. So we went through the trademark process and started really nailing down a name that could last us a lifetime. And so that turned out to be one of the most painful processes I've ever been through in my entire life, because with all the different industries that we service, we fall in an amazing amount of different brackets that you can't name yourself. So we found ourselves in the dictionary and looking for words that stood out at us that people had never used before.
Oh, okay.
And so we found the word Frenik, which is actually spelled Phrenik, which means of or pertaining to the mind or thought process. We didn't like the PH or the C at the end because we felt like they were weak characters. So we liked the phonetic spelling, which was Frenik. So that is how we ended up on Frenik.
Very good. Well, that's an interesting story. As long as I've known you, I've not known that explanation. What, with respect to the marketing and that you expanded into, what do you do for people?
So currently we are a full-service marketing agency, and we have a little bit different perspective on what that means. So over the past 10 years, the landscape of business has entirely changed.
Oh, certainly. Exactly.
Technology, everything about how you interact with your consumer base has changed from how they see you, how they do business with you. And so what Frenik does is help you adapt to that environment. So we offer a plethora of marketing services, but at the same time, we drive with technology. So the way that I like to position ourselves to people that are asking what we do is basically anything that you could think of from a corporate IT or marketing department at a large-scale company, we can produce. And so we help companies adapt to technology, build proprietary software, use licensed software, as well as creative strategies to make sure that we're ensuring their success.
Is there a typical client in terms of size of their company, that sort of thing?
So we work with an extremely wide range of company sizes and industries. So we've worked in everywhere from plumbing to straight tech startups to landscaping to the Gwinnett Chamber. So it has been a very, very wide range. It all depends on the activities that the customer is trying to do. In more of our retainer type clients where we're doing large scale projects 2-3 years long, they're more enterprise style, but we do work on a lot of one-off projects or from a consulting perspective for startups and small businesses.
For a new client, what sort of process do you go through with them to get them rolling?
So for a new client, a lot of the times we don't do a lot of outbound marketing for ourselves. So most of the clients are coming to us with a specific need. And so we will come up with a solution that's tailored exactly to what their need is versus having just in-the-box solutions that we're applying to each and every one of our customers.
You're listening to Open for Business, the Gwinnett Chamber's monthly radio show on Business RadioX, and we're talking with Jordan Sandler, the CEO and founder of Frenik Marketing Group. I've heard you use the phrase established startup. Elaborate on that for us a little bit.
So we're a young company still. We're 3.5 years old. We started at the University of Georgia in the entrepreneurship program, which puts us 2.5 years actually outside of the program operating on our own. So in our infancy, in our first year while we were at the University of Georgia, we were required to write a business plan and execute a company or a startup without any funding. So that meant I couldn't take $1 from Jordan Sandler's account and put it in KMS's account. It was off limits. It was really to show the importance of cash flow and that a good idea in the millennials day and age does not mean $1 billion. So that being said, the first year we were really forced to make our own way. And so in doing so, we caught up with some tendencies, I like to say, where startups. For example, for the first year, we ran our business out of our townhouse down in Athens. And then during the snowpocalypse, we got lucky enough to where the house thought it was on fire. So the sprinkler system started going off. And so it destroyed everything in the house, which was a blessing in disguise, because Wells Fargo Insurance was our first investor. So from that point, we had actually just finished the entrepreneurship program, so we were allowed to infuse capital into the company, and so we used that money to get ourselves an office down in Athens and get the ball rolling officially. So established startup really comes from the fact of, like, currently right now we are down in the Brookhaven area. We are once again somehow back into a townhouse feel, but that's from an established startup. So we're established in the fact that our service lines and our products are fully capable of handling the enterprises that we deal with, but we have the tendencies of cutting costs everywhere that we can and keeping overhead low, which makes for creative solutions like finding a house that was about to be foreclosed on and saying, hey, I'll pay your mortgage.
How about that, huh?
If you let me run a business out of it. So, but currently we're actually kind of getting over a lot of those speed bumps, and we're potentially moving into the Peachtree Corners incubator called Prototype Prime. So we're making steps to remove some of those startup tendencies and become an established company. But at the current moment, we are an established startup.
After you exited UGA and you were a full-fledged business, did you generate investors to help you really get things rolling?
So we, to date, are still 100% unfunded from an investor's perspective. That doesn't mean that we haven't learned how to use the bank and debt. So so with that being said, we do have a board that helped us secure some loans that helped us really take ourselves to the next level.
Very good. What can you give us an idea of some satisfying moments, some high points that have come through the business?
Yeah, one of the really most satisfying points in time was being able to say that we were both an employer and a vendor while I was still a full-time student for the University of Georgia. So that was really cool to work for our alma mater. That gave us our first billion-dollar institution in our portfolio, which has led to...
That's a big check mark right there.
Yes, sir. It definitely is. So that led us into being able to apply ourselves to Gwinnett Medical Center and then also T-Mobile. So we have had a lot of success based off of using that name and the fact that we are their main mobile application provider.
No, it's a big bravo there. I know one of the early things that you did was become involved with the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce.
Most definitely.
And I would say that's been a plus for you.
Most definitely. I feel like we're family.
How have you parlayed that as far as Frenik goes?
So I was lucky enough and blessed to have a relationship with the chamber before I actually started my business. My father had helped build the chamber over the years, and he's been very involved. So when I started going to the chamber, I started as just a very general member, where I think it's the $500 membership, and doing Gwinnett working and really working the program, getting my own name out there for myself. Then year 2, we climbed up to chairman's level, and we made ourselves a little bit more official. And but I was still getting caught in you're Dr. Sandler's son, right? So
once they make that connection, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the chamber worked with us over the past year of really trying to separate ourselves from that and make ourselves our own entity. And so we've done a lot of programs and sponsorships with the chamber that have turned out to be extremely lucrative and successful in many different ways, and it has been an absolute pleasure of working with the chamber.
Well, big bravo there. How can people get in touch with you and find out more about Frenik Marketing?
I would tell them to go to freniklabs.com. That's FRENIK labs.com. Or you can reach us at 1-855-326-8919.
Very good. Jordan Sandler, thanks so much. And now we turn to Courtney Spencer, Membership Services Coordinator of the Gwinnett Chamber. And Courtney, before we look ahead, I'd like for us a moment to take a step back. A month or so ago, maybe even before that, maybe a couple of months back, we were talking about a big event that was coming that the Gwinnett Chamber was being a part of with other chambers, and that was the Luau at Lake Lanier. I was pleased to be a part of that and to enjoy that, but as the chamber, as Gwinnett Chamber has looked back on it, was this a big thumbs up like we thought it was going to be?
Oh gosh, the Tri-Chamber Luau, Lake and Luau was an absolute success. We had well over 500 attendees. Everyone had an amazing job. One of the pieces of feedback that I've gotten so far, just that we've gotten so far, is that it wasn't just a place of just, oh, everybody's just having a great time, but it was more so, I mean, just really everyone coming together and truly networking and making those connections, because that's what we're all about. Greater Hall, Coming Forsyth, as well as the Gwinnett Chamber came together in order to do this Tri-Chamber event. But I have to give complete kudos to Stephanie Sokenis, the Director of Small Business Development with the Gwinnett Chamber. She really was integral and just really a huge part of that being a great success. So Stephanie Sokenis is just such a great asset.
Now she
to
put in
our
an hour or
organization.
two in
Oh
preparation.
yeah, just an hour, half hour, just a little something. She really did. She did a great job.
That gives us a good segue right in with respect to small business, because that's kind of an ongoing thing that
Yes.
Stephanie has within the chamber now, correct?
Yes, she's doing an amazing job. One of the great things about the small business development aspect of the chamber is before she came on board, we probably had maybe one program a year that was specifically for our smaller businesses. And now, because of her leadership and some great things that she's been doing, we have well over 80 events a year. She's doing a great job.
Now, I've heard something about a boot camp kind of thing. What can you share a little bit about that for us?
Yes, there will be a marketing boot camp on July the 12th. And again, you can find more information about that on the website. But that is just a really great boot camp in which a lot of our members or non-members, definitely if you're not a member of the Gwinnett Chamber, we definitely invite you to come out to that. Just to really give you those in-your-face type of tidbits in order to better market your business.
What are some other things that are on the immediate agenda as far as chamber? I mean, a lot of things are regular events that continue, but I want us to make sure we touch the right bases here. Because you got your hand in a lot of things, so I want to make sure we touch base on them.
It's the truth, Johnny. Well, one of the things that we have going on, of course, everyone knows that we do have Business After Hours every month. Usually we have it every third Thursday of the month, but in the month of July, we will be at Delmar Gardens of Gwinnett. It is in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And I talked to Jennifer. She's such a great asset to Delmar Gardens. She talked about the theme of Business After Hours this time around, because usually they do it for us every year. They slam dunk. They lay the
Talk about rolling out the red carpet.
Come on now.
Yeah.
They do a great job, and usually they do a Mardi Gras theme. But they've recently had a lot of difficulties. I think they had a lightning strike at their facility, and so they've really had to overcome a lot of obstacles. And so the theme is going to be superheroes, superhero theme, because the staff, the residents, they've been superheroes and really overcoming a lot of obstacles that they've had to deal with in the past few months. And so that'll be at Delmar Gardens, and then in August we'll be at Fumi Hibachi and Sushi Bar. So all of you hibachi and sushi folks, you do not want to miss this particular Business After
Am I correct?
Hours.
Is that the new place over near the Gwinnett Place Mall?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes, it is. They have several locations, but they just moved up here in Gwinnett County. They're over by the mall, and I'm telling you, recently Partnership Gwinnett, as well as a lot of the chamber employees, we went there for lunch just to really experience the place. And I'm gonna tell you something, it was truly an experience there. The food, the young man who actually did the hibachi gave us a show. It was awesome. And so the ambiance, the feel, I definitely encourage people to take your businesses, take your family, take your significant other. You don't want to miss your time at hibachi, Fumi Hibachi and Sushi Bar.
All right, so that's the next couple of months. you stay busy with a lot of projects and so forth,
Yes.
As well as other folks in the chamber as well. We
Yes.
mentioned what Stephanie has in the plans. Are there some things that are on the books that you want to make sure everybody's aware of?
Absolutely. I think one of the other guests here on the show talked about Gwinnett Working and how they became really involved in Gwinnett Working. And Gwinnett Working is a networking opportunity for our members as well as non-members to really come in and get to know one another, make those connections, possibly do business, pass leads. That's what Gwinnett Working is all about. And so we have a traditional format on most Thursdays and Fridays, where, everyone gets up and they do their 30-second elevator speech about their business and really talk about themselves. But I want to talk about the speaker series that we have every third Friday of the month. Make It Loud Web Design, they are actually our speaker series sponsor for the entire year. And I'm gonna tell you something, they John and Cliff and everybody, Audra, everybody on that team, they have just done an amazing job. For the last 2 months, they've been talking about reputation management. Oh my gosh. I think that was an eye-opener for every business in the room. And we really talked about how to better manage your reputation online and how to really cover yourself and protect yourself. And last month, what they did was, it was so good the month before that. This past month, what we did was, I think we got into groups and everybody rated themselves and got a chance to take a look at each other's site and say, okay, let's talk about this. Let's delve into it. But in the month of July, the topic for our speaker series is, what is your website supposed to do? Because a lot of times we have our websites, but some of the content on it isn't really helping our business. Sometimes it's hurting us. And so just really asking the questions and really getting in there and really delving in and saying, what is our website supposed to be doing?
So that's the third Friday of every month.
Third Friday of every month.
Very good. Courtney, we've shared this in many times before, but let me get your contact information so people, if they have an information that questions about some of the things you've talked about, they can get in touch with you.
Okay. Well, my phone number, my direct line at the Gwinnett Chamber is 770-232-8805, and my email is cspencer@gwinnettchamber.org.
Very good. Courtney, thank you so much. Kathy, let me come back to you one more time for a repeat of your contact information, how people can get in touch with you at Camp Bow Wow.
Phone numbers 770-995-3500. Email Lawrenceville GA@campbowwow.com.
All right. And Jordan Sandler, how can people find out more about Frenik Marketing?
You can reach us at 1-855-326-8919 or at www.freniklabs.com. That's FRENIK labs.com. Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you all for being with us today, and thank you for joining us on Open for Business, the Gwinnett Chamber's monthly radio show on Business RadioX. Open for Business is brought to you by FarraTech. FarraTech, great people, remarkable service. Don't forget, we broadcast live on the fourth Friday of every month at 11:30 in the morning, but you can listen to any of our shows anytime by visiting GwinnettBusinessRadioX.com. All of our shows are also available on iTunes. Until next time, I'm Johnny Phelps of Harry Norman Realtors. Thanks for being there.